It's not the Muslims who are going to kill us. It's not even the Chinese. It's the Americans. Specifically, it's the American politicians. Of all the challenges our country faces today, and a whole lot of bad guys out there like to take our heads off, I believe the greatest danger to our future existence is being posed by our own irresponsible politicians. And your boyfriend, Barack Obama, he's a pretty good example of that. You see how he's got his budget proposal out? $3.8 trillion. That's what he says we need to spend in this upcoming fiscal year. Of that 3.8 trillion, 1.6 trillion of it will be you know what I'm talking about, deficit spending. We'll do the math on that. 3.8 minus 1.6 means that we've got 2.2 that we're actually paying, and more than a third of this budget will be run on debt. Well, the problem is that our country cannot continue to run on debt. Our country has to balance its books the same way as your family and mine. And this hypocritical president of yours, who got up at this State of the Union address the other day and said deficits are bad, a week later proposed the largest deficit in the history of our country. I'm not exactly sure, but isn't that two-faced sort of politics kind of bad? This year, for the first time ever, entitlements plus interest and principal payments on the debt spent all the revenues our country had. All the taxes, all the fees, all the money they took in, and you know they tax you like crazy, all of that together just covered Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and the debt. Everything on top of that, all the things you want your government to pay for, all of that had to be borrowed for. Obama's got this snip around the edges. He's going to freeze inconsequential stuff that already had bloated budgets. That's nowhere near enough. There's one way to slay this dragon. You got to cut out its heart. And its heart are these runaway entitlements, which is French for welfare. Medicare and Medicaid, I'm sorry, we can't pay them. Social Security, I'm sorry, friends, you were lied to by 2 generations of politicians. We cannot cover those checks. We cannot go into this sort of debt. Why? Because when a nation goes bankrupt, and the United States, just like these third world places, absolutely can go bankrupt, when a nation goes bankrupt, it goes face first into history. We want to survive. We want to prosper. And the only way we do that is by living within our means. And the only way we do that is by making significant and dramatic changes in Washington. Unfortunately, this Obama budget doesn't do that. Unfortunately, this Obama budget merely digs the hole deeper. Well, the hole that's being dug, sadly, friends, is the American grave.